initial idea. So the notes we're going to use here will be on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, the 6th fret on the 3rd, and we'll also have the 4th fret. So this guy here is the root note, that's the C sharp, and this guy here is going to be our 3rd. It's a minor 3rd in this case. This one here is the 2nd degree. So we have the root, 3rd, minor, and then the 2nd degree. So once we start moving this idea around a bit, we are going to proceed just through the key, going back a specific amount. So whereas before we had the root note just here, the 6th fret on the 3rd string, because the progression goes down a whole step to the next chord, which would be B, then our next idea will focus around this B note here. But you'll notice we'll start at the 4th fret on string 2, and that's our little shape. So whereas in the first idea we had these notes, in the next idea this guy is going to move down here. This one will go back just a fret. So sometimes it's a whole step, sometimes it's a half, and then the minor 2nd will go back to the 2nd fret, which was there in the original case. Now from this point then, we had before this the 4th fret on these two. And what's going to happen now, as you'll notice, is that these two notes are just going to move back to the 2nd fret. And our change note will be behind, and that'll be the open string. So that's those three. So once we start adding to the idea, we will use the 4th fret on the 1st string. And we're going to be using that with our E note and also our C sharp. So that forms a C sharp minor triad. And keep an eye out when you get to bar 11, which is the change, because what's going to happen then is we'll just be playing a B triad. So we have the B note, and we've got the D sharp or E flat, and then we've got the F sharp note here. So that's our root note, it's our major 3rd, and this guy's our 5th. Finally then we've got a small A triad, so that's 2nd fret on the 3rd, 2nd fret on the 2nd, and we've got the E note just here. So once we get to the arpeggiated melody, we're going to be using that triad again. So we have the root note, minor 3rd, and the 5th. This note over here on the 7th fret. So if we go up in the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is our minor 7 note, this one here. So we've got these three joining in and leading with that note at the end of the phrase. And we're going to vary that up then, so we'll use the triad again, and then we are going to use the 5th fret on string 1. So this one's a little bit darker because it's closer to this note. So because those two are next to each other, that gives a darker effect. Moving on from that point, we've got our B triad again, and our change note is going to be over here at fret 4. So it's not as dark, but it's following that pattern where we move back exactly the same amount for each note according to the regression. Sometimes that'll be a whole step, sometimes a half step. Now we get to moving higher up the fretboard. That's bar 23. So we've got a C sharp minor triad here. And our color notes are going to be at the 12th fret and the 11th fret. Also at the end of that, we'll have the 14th fret, and that will move down back to the 12th, then to the 11th, and then finally back to the 9. Now from this point then, we're going to be using a B chord, or B triad actually, starting from the 8th fret on string 3. We've got the 7th on the strings 2 and 1, so those three will form that triad. Color note will be the 9th fret, back to the 7th fret. Once we've done that, we're going to have an A triad, 6th fret on 3rd, 5th fret here on the 2nd and the 1st string, so that's our A triad there. And we're going to color it up with the 7th fret, and then we're going to go back to the 5th fret again. And for the dark end, what we are going to do is use a fairly large voicing. So we'll have these two, oops, and then these three here. So we'll just cross that one out. And that forms almost a bar chord, except we don't have the note that would normally be there to do the bar down that way. And what you want to do here is you want to rake back this way. So you want to go back, down, and that way, and that will give you that rippling effect. And you can do that for each voicing.